You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way. Not looking for no heaven or gold, 'cause I got you. Don't wanna show us off, but you're my all that I need. Trying to sugarcoat, but I'm flying so high. I don't even know if I'm coming down. You rock my boat when you hold me so tight. The world just disappears in front of my eyes. I'm telling you why. This ain't no madness. The smoke in the mirrors, our memories of the sun has come down. Like a river rising way up above. This ain't no sugar coat. I'll stay in bed. I still got the feeling that you're next to me, stuck in my head. When lights go off, you're everything that I could ever want. Your touch so soft. Not looking for no heaven or gold, 'cause I got you. Don't wanna show us off, but you're my all that I need. Trying to sugarcoat, but I'm flying so high. I don't even know if I'm coming down. You rock my boat when you hold me so tight. The world just disappears in front of my eyes. I'm telling you why. This ain't no madness. The smoke in the mirrors, our memories now the sun has come down. Like a river rising way up above. This ain't no sugar.
You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You are kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you. I go all in to lose or win. Build things up to knock 'em down. It's the way we keep our high, moving like a hurricane. There will come a time for when we can wash away your sins, settle down, but until then, we're like a hurricane. You're so different, kind of ignorant. You don't care what people say, people say, people say. I'm going crazy for you, baby. Don't know how you're making me feel this way. What can I say? That's what I like about you. So dangerous.
What's up, guys? Shawn here. Welcome to the live stream on Tuesday night studio sessions. Tonight we've got a pretty unique live stream. We're going to talk about the Yuneec Typhoon H3, and I've got my Yuneec Typhoon H Plus, which is basically last year's version. And then we're also going to talk about the Yuneec Typhoon H, kind of the changes they made over the last couple years. And whether the Leica camera on the new drone is worth it or not. If you've got a Yuneec Typhoon H, I think it's definitely worth an upgrade. If you got the Yuneec Typhoon H Plus, like I do, I'm not sure you're getting much, except for a different camera. Now it's a Leica camera. It's got Leica goods in it, so it might be pretty awesome. But what's up, Newman? Welcome to the chat. Let me know if you can hear me. I've got two fans going, so I'm curious to see whether you can hear me or not. My microphone's like right there, so it's the closest thing to my face, but I've got a lot of fans going on. We're trying to transition in the house from summer to fall, so that means we turn the heat on, and now it's so hot. So, trying to figure that out. But Newman, let me know what my audio levels are. There's only 2 people here. It's kind of sad. Probably not a lot of people interested in the Yuneec Typhoons, but I really like them. But if it's just me and you, Newman, tonight, so you do hear the fans. I might turn one of them off. That one's far away. I'm going to turn that one off real quick. That probably didn't do anything, did it? So I told you guys in the intro that I was going to put my Yuneec Typhoon H Plus on the table. The thing is huge. It's taken up most of my real estate. But I think it's going to be a pretty good show. So, yeah. How was your week, Newman? You got a new Insta360 One X. Have you played around with that at all? I actually got a new camera in the mail today. And if I move out of the way, you can see it. It's pretty exciting. But I didn't know it was going to come today. I thought release day was like the 25th or something. I got it on the 12th. So they must like me. If I was going to order it, the GoPro Hero 8 that's behind me, if I was going to get it from Best Buy, I was going to be able to pick it up on release day, which was October 25th. So I'm hoping they send the Max in the next week. But we'll see what happens. So I've got Newman in the room, and he's the only one that said anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get into it. First, I'm going to talk about the differences between the Yuneec Typhoon H3, the H Plus, and the H. I've had fun fiddling with the 360, editing the video I recorded of a geocaching. So you mounted it on the Spire. How did that go? Did that go really well? The stabilization in the Insta360 One X is amazing. Because I know your Inspire's kind of bouncing around, you know, fighting the wind and all that kind of stuff. And that's awesome. And the Insta360 One X can handle the stabilization without a gimbal. And that's what I think is awesome. Now it says only one person's here. Is it Nunley or Newman? Newman was here. Or maybe I'm just getting some bad readings. Maybe I need to not look at that. So yeah. a couple things we're going to do tonight is I've got the Yuneec Typhoon H Plus hooked up through HDMI into the live stream. So we're going to turn on the ST16S controller and show what's on the screen. Brent Newman, Inspire video was awesome. Yes, it was a windy day and the bird was whipping back and forth, but 360 was rock solid. Isn't that awesome? I'm the same way. I took my Yuneec Q500. I put my Insta360 One X on that, and it's like kind of bounces around. I mean, it's not a stable flyer. Like these are really stable, and I'm sure your Inspire is really stable, but that Q500 is like maybe like 3 or 4 year old technology, and even though it was awesome at the time, and it's nice, it's got a huge wingspan, and you can pull the camera off and put another camera on and not worry about adding extra weight to your drone, which I love. But yeah, I put it on that, and actually all the cameras that I put on it, they were stabilization tests. So and I'm going to be putting, I messed it up. I'm going to put that camera, the GoPro Hero 8, I'm going to put that on one of these birds in the next week, and we're going to see what stabilization does with that in the air. I'll probably do the exact same video that I did with the GoPro Hero 7. So I think it's a great stabilization test, especially if you go pretty fast with your drone and you do a turn, and so your whole drone has to shift its weight like this. It's a pretty cool little shot. So that's cool. And what I did with my Yuneec Typhoon Q500 is I took the legs off and I put the GoPro just on top of the drone, and I flew it like an FPV. So that'll be pretty fun. I wish there was an FPV mode in the GoPro app. That would be pretty sick. I'd have a big honkin' FPV drone. So we got Newman and Nunley in the house. They're the faithful watchers, subscribers. So Brent Newman said, my videos of 360 cams on a drone may have been the first you ever saw. Awesome. Yeah, there's not too many people out there doing that, and I don't understand why. I still think, you know, what 360 cameras do is they capture footage that you miss if you're just pointing the camera in one direction. So, Brent Nunley, Nacho almost had a 360 drone video. He had some. Actually, I've showed one of his videos of the seals on that abandoned boat out in the ocean. That was a cool video, and he had some Insta360 One X footage in that video. But yeah, that's funny. Poor Nacho. Where's Nacho tonight? We're missing Nacho and Claude. I talked to Tomas over on it was either Drone Worship's channel or Claude's channel. But yeah. So I was on last week. Claude, of course he's live. That little punk. He's taking over my spot. I thought he did lives during the day. Nighttime on Tuesday nights is my spot. No, I don't care. Oh, you put an Inspire 360 video up on your channel? Sweet. I wonder if I played that right now, if I'd get like a copyright. I'd probably get a copyright infringement. Yeah, Brent. Claude's videos are like borderline kind of voyeurism. Like you're really just watching a guy sit at his desk all day talking to people. I love hanging out with him. I think he's a respectful person. I think he's done a lot for the drone community, just bringing people together. thought it was interesting last week on the live stream when I went on his, I ganked his live stream, but I was a little frustrated with the some of the comments from drone worship, and then just because I get frustrated when I start talking and then people just interrupt me and start talking over top of me, and then by the time they're done talking, I was like, well, I have a lot to say about that, but I don't want to, offend anybody and all that kind of stuff. And drone worship, if you're watching, I hope I don't offend you. But so I watched his live stream this week, and he threw up the StreamYards link, and so I jumped on his live stream and just had a good time with those guys, and so no harm, no foul. But the video that I put out last week of the FPV on the Paradanafi, was just basically proof and contradiction to what he was saying. But yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about Typhoons, and in my opinion, the Typhoons is kind of like Yuneec's version of the Inspire, in my opinion. The H, not so much. I mean, the H was more of like a Phantom standard with 2 extra props. Okay, the H doesn't have a very good camera on it. It's decent, and I loved it when that was my best drone. But this drone right here, the Typhoon H Plus, has a 1-inch sensor on it, so the camera here is comparable to a Phantom Pro, and some of the Inspire lenses. What makes it Inspire-ish is the fact that the landing gear comes up and the camera hangs down. What makes this the camera gimbal a little bit better than the Inspire is that it can go all the way around all the time. So you can put your drone up in the air, set it to pan, and it'll just keep going. I've never had any flight issues with my Yuneec Typhoons. I did have a camera issue, and I think it was my fault, but it was fixed under warranty, so I'm not gonna complain. But there's like a gimbal lock, and I turned the drone on leaving the gimbal lock, and I think the gimbal fought against the gimbal lock, and then either fried the motor, or I also did a firmware update at the same time, so I'm not sure if that messed it up at all. But these the Yuneec Typhoon H's are rock solid in the air. It's kind of like a tugboat. I don't know. It's my best way of describing them, because they're big, hossy drones, and they just they're fast. I can go up to 45 miles an hour with this drone, but doing that scares the crap out of me, because I mean it's a heavy little drone. I mean I don't remember how much it weighs. It might only weigh like 5 pounds, but that's a lot to fall out of the sky or run into something. So when I fly this, I'm pretty cautious and pretty serious about what I'm doing, and I don't fly around people. I don't fly around vehicles. I don't even really fly around buildings with this guy, because I know I could definitely tear something up. I consider my DJI Mavic Air, even the Pros, even the Mavic Pros, I consider those, even though I consider them more of like a toy that has a really good camera on it, as opposed to just like a GoPro. I've got my Canon camera here that's like $2,000 camera. I'm not going to attach it to my body and go swimming with it, or stick it on the side of the side of my Segway or something like that. But little cameras like the GoPro and the DJI Osmo Action, little cameras like that, I consider the smaller foldable drones just like that. My Paradanafi, I feel like I could take my Paradanafi right to the face and it wouldn't hurt me. Like it's kind of a weak little drone, but it does some amazing things, and that's what I love about it. So Brent Nenley said, fire it up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fire the controller up. It's got to warm up a little bit before I switch it over to HDMI. Let's see. Ooh, baby. Oh, what'd you guys think about the intro video today, the trailer video? I did that with the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. And I thought it was awesome when I made the video, but then when I put my logo on it and my logo didn't move, I saw how much the camera moved. So that annoyed me a little bit, but still kind of cool. So I'm going to wait. Let's see if that works now. I think it's on 1. Oh, there we go. All right. So we're going to go full screen. And then, actually, maybe we should let's do picture in picture. Nope. All right, let's do that. We're going to put me in here. I'm thinking we're going to put me down here. Right, sort of between those icons. All right. You guys ready? Woo! Let's switch over to on. There it is. It's on. Woohoo! No GPS signal. All right, guys. Pan over. Woo! Stay there. And then we're going to look up. Oh. There we go. All right, so we're going to give you guys a little tour of my room. You ready? Can't do it because it's in the... Alright, now we're going to go to picture in picture. So as you can see, I've got my camera turned in right here. There's the microphone. That's pretty fun. What's up? So, the thing I love about this camera, and I'm going to demonstrate it right now, it's going to just continue to pan really, really slow in a circle. And, yeah. It can do that for the entire flight. It can pan the entire flight. It's the only drone that I know of at this price that can continuously pan. When I flew the Inspire 2 with Ken Heron, Well, I didn't fly that Inspire, but I drove the camera while he flew the drone, and it really jogged my mind whenever I couldn't keep going in a circle. So this thing will just go and go and go. So, all right. So let's get it out of that mode. All right. It's hard to do this when it's not in my hand. All right. So what should we point at? What should we point at, guys? Okay, let's point at my messy room. How about that? We'll just point there. All right. So, yeah. We can look at some of the stuff on here. We can switch to camera mode. Come in here and we can change all the settings. I've got it on auto right now. We can go into manual. Go through here. So that's pretty cool. I don't even know what's on the SD card. It's pretty cool. Go in here and check the info. Maybe not. Gosh, I can't do this with my fingers down there. Go in here at the settings. Change all the settings, change the calibrate, do all that jazz. And go to the controller. Change your mode of flight. Go to the connections, connect your cameras. General settings. Come down here and you click on the drone. These are all your different flight modes, and I'm in the way. So you've got your cable cam, flight. You've got follow me. You've got journey, orbit, team mode. Britt Nunley said zoom. Or is that a different camera? Yeah, Nunley, this one can't zoom. But it can do team mode. It can do everything the Inspire can do, pretty much. But it doesn't have a zoom lens on it. But the video is so good that you can zoom in on it, and it's still really good quality. So yeah, what else was I going to show you? I don't know. So let's go through the specs. We're going to switch over to here. And I'm going to turn this off. Alright. One thing I do love about all the Yuneec Typhoon H's, they've got the landing gear can go up just like the Inspire. So you start off on the ground and then the landing gear comes up. So this landing gear can come all the way up to here. And these also, it's a hexacopter, but all these legs can fold down. So the footprint, like the footprint in the bag, is pretty small. So Newman says, do you like that big remote? Are all these settings and switches tied to certain things? So I'm gonna unplug it. So the question was about the remote. Go ahead and turn it back on, just so it looks pretty. But so basically, what you have, you've got a lot of tactile switches and buttons and stuff, but really most of them have to do with flight. Like there's an emergency shutdown button here, so when you land, the drone doesn't turn off. The drone stays on, and then this is the kill switch to kill the engine. Okay, so it's like the ignition. You've got turtle mode and high speed mode on back here. You've got the two little things. One is, this is the camera up and down, and this one is fast to slow. Okay, and then on this side, these joysticks are just awesome. All three of them have this control. But they've got these nice little places to put your fingers in. These are all your pan and tilt controls, these three. And then these are your flight modes over here, these toggle switches. Down here you have a video button and a photo button. Okay, so you got two special buttons for each one of those. And then these are little D-pads. You can set these D-pads. You can program these D-pads. So some the H drones have a cruise control option, and you can use these D-pads to put it into cruise control. So if you think about, and I'm not sure, I don't know much about the Inspire. I've only played around with the Inspire once with Ken. So I can't speak to everything the Inspire does. But what you can do with this drone is, you can fly it, you can point it in a direction, you can put it in cruise control, so it's continually, and you can set the speed, so you can just have the drone go in one direction, and then you can focus on videoing. But you can also turn the pan on. And so the pan is slow, and then you can do everything in auto mode. Some of the tilt modes has you can have it so that it won't go any higher than the horizon. So you can look down, or you can go straight up to the horizon. So when you flip your switch in the middle, all of a sudden it will just go straight up to the horizon, which is great when you're trying to figure out if you can fly over something or not. You put your tilt up to the horizon, and if you can see the other side of something, then you're flying on top of it. So that's super handy. This is just the Yuneec series drones are more of like a professional camera in the air, whereas a lot of the other drone, like a lot of the smaller zippier foldable drones are meant to get somewhere and get a shot. This one, you know, you can film a movie with this camera if you want to. I have a friend that he's a missionary, and they go all over. Oh, Nacho showed up. What's up, man? Steve, what's up? Saw you sneak in. Welcome to the chat, guys. We're talking Yuneecs tonight. Oh, and Nacho. That came in the mail today. I got the GoPro Hero 8. I believe it's like a week before the release date. So that's a little exciting. I mean, I bought it as soon as they announced it. So yeah. But Newman asked about the controller, if I like the big controller. I liked the big controller before it was cool. I'm a big stocky guy anyway, so I've got this controller, you know, and a lot of the drone controllers are more like a Xbox controller. So, you know, you kind of fly it with I kind of fly it with everything tucked in. This controller actually gives me room to breathe. The other thing that I love about this controller is this is a 7-inch Android tablet. So it comes with its own tablet, so I don't have to pull my phone out and use my data on my phone. I don't have to use... Well, I do use my data on the phone to kind of hook up to maps and stuff. But, you know, I don't have to use up the battery on my phone to fly this drone. And I used to get... Like, even Ken Heron was like, how can you handle that big controller? Like, everybody made fun of me for having this big old honking controller, and I liked it. And then DJI came out with a smart controller that had a screen in it, and it was big, and then everybody thought it was amazing. Like, woo! DJI did something amazing, and I was like, I had this years ago. So... this controller is a little bit different than my ST16 controller. I actually have that right over there for my Yuneec Typhoon H, just the plain one. But yeah, Brent Newman says, not trolling, after watching all of yours and Shawn's Insta361X videos, I picked up one for myself. Yeah, Nacho, I miss yours too. I really like your Insta361X videos are pretty much how I found you, and I miss your Insta360 videos. I gave you an Insta360 camera, and I haven't seen many videos of it, but I really do. I think you were kind of innovative with your motorcycle and sticking it, you know, giving your motorcycle a happy place. Putting the camera sticking out of the front of it, and I do miss a lot of those videos. I think the S360 Go is a great idea. I just wish it wasn't clipped videos. I wish they were actual videos. Something else, this controller comes with 2 different antennas. This one is, I think it's like omnidirectional, and then there's another one that's like more directional. So you have to actually point your controller at the drone the entire time, whereas this one's not as strong, but is the mushroom. So the signal goes everywhere. But I was talking about how this is the Android controller. You can actually go out of the drone app into Android, and you can add your own little apps to it. So if you want to check air maps to see if you're allowed to fly somewhere, you can do that kind of thing, and then it's pretty simple to go right back to it. It also has a USB port, so you can charge your camera while you're running it. It's got this nice little handle back here. It It's got a speaker. It's got a place for an SD card, so you can take the SD card out of the drone, plug it into the controller, and then just watch your footage. You can email your footage. You can upload it to YouTube. All of that kind of stuff from the controller, because it's an Android tablet. It's got headphone jack. I actually took, not this controller, but I took my the one for my Yuneec Typhoon H. I took it into a meeting one time, and I took notes on my little controller. I felt so cool. Everybody else kind of thought I was a nerd, but it was pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna turn that off. That's the controller. And I really like it. It also has like this, comes with a sunshade that you can put on the controller. It is kind of hard. Not sure, call me a nerd. It is pretty, just like most of the screens, it's fairly hard to see in bright sunlight, just because your screen's pointed up at the sun. So the sunshade really does help a lot. The hexacopter takes a lot longer to calibrate, because you've got 3 roll axi. So you got to spin it this way, and then turn it, and spin it, and then turn it, and spin it, and then turn it, and spin it. But once it's calibrated, it's locked in. And the best part is this camera right here, from here down, just comes right off. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm distracted and I don't want to break it. But you can pull the camera off, and then basically what I've done in my past videos is I purchased this part right here. It's a replacement kind of damper system, and I bought that straight from Yuneec, so there was no like 3D printing, hoping the guy that you downloaded his files designed it correctly with the right specs. Bought it from them and then modded it myself. So I've hung, what all have I hung? My favorite camera to hang from it is the Garmin 360, just because the Garmin 360 just looks cool. It's not nearly the best. I hope your Garmin comes out with another 360 camera, because that was my favorite Garmin 360 camera for a long time. But yeah, so let's look into, let's switch over to here. That's weird that it goes to white. That's interesting. All right, so what we got here, let's start out with the H. Let's go back in time. The Typhoon H was my first Yuneec drone. I bought it used from a guy, and I ended up selling my Yuneec Typhoon H because I wanted to purchase something else for the channel. And then I talked my friend into buying a Yuneec Typhoon H last Christmas, or 2 Christmases ago. I can't remember which one it was. Probably 2 Christmases ago. And then he told me that he never flew it, so I traded him a Canon camera for it. So now I have a Yuneec Typhoon H, just so I could do comparison videos. I did one comparison video, but this is the Yuneec Typhoon H. Unleash your creativity, and you can still buy Yuneec Typhoon H at certain places. I think Vertigo Drone still has them. I think they're pretty much discontinued everywhere else, but this is what it looks like, guys. Ever since, so the Yuneec Typhoon H introduced 5 propeller flying. So you were able to, if one of the blades flew off your drone, or the engine burned out, or something, the power got disconnected on one of the motors, you still have 5 motors to get your drone safely to the ground. Whereas any of the drones that only have 4 props, since they're only balanced with those 4 props, if one of them falls off, then the drone goes into this really weird, like, tailspin type thing. Nacho rolling set. Oh wait, I made a mount for my action on my Phantom. That's awesome, Brent. I made a mount. I did a video last year of a mount for my Insta360 but I didn't account for the vibration and the unscrewing of the 360, so it fell out of the sky, and then I gave it to Nacho. Nacho said I should just break down and buy a hushed Insta360 One X. When the Max comes out, I should be able to get one cheap. You can get a GoPro Fusion really cheap right now, Nacho, if you want to. I have the Typhoon H Pro, but my Typhoon H Plus is a lot better. Yes, Steve, I totally agree with that. There are so many people. I did that video, the comparison video of what the difference is, and this one guy put a comment on my video. He said, it was like Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man. I put a bow on it. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's not even the same drone. A lot of people, I think they missed the mark in marketing this drone as the H Plus. I wish they would have named it something different, because everybody thinks it's the same drone. Even their marketing pictures look familiar. It was really easy to discern the difference between the H and the the 520, because one was orange and one was black, but they made this one gunmetal, and all their pictures still kind of look the same. But this is what it looks like flying in the sky, guys. The landing gear comes up, and then the camera's on the bottom. When they introduced this Yuneec Typhoon H, they also introduced the action handle. I have 2 of them. I have no... Yep, there's one. Switch over to me real quick. So this is the Yuneec. It's like an action kit, action cam, but really what it is it's a pistol grip for the I don't even know if the camera. So I'll bring this out. And I might just play around with this. This is the the CG03 that comes on the Yuneec Typhoon H. And this is a little pistol grip gimbal that they used to sell with the Yuneec Typhoon H. And you could take the camera straight off and put it on here. So yeah, that's cool. But I really think more drone companies should do that, where you can take the camera off of the drone and put it on something else. Brent Nunley asked, what are the H Pluses going for? I spent... So back when the Yuneec Typhoon... back when the DJI Mavic 2 Pro came out, you had to spend like $1,700 to get the Mavic 2 Pro, and the Fly More package. And so I explained that they don't make a Fly More package for the Typhoons because they already come with all the stuff. So they don't separate it out and make you pay more so you can get an extra battery. They all come with 2 batteries. They all come with a carrying backpack. They've got all that stuff with them. So I believe I paid about $1,700 for mine. I think you can get them for about $1,500 now. But these H's you can find for about 600 to 800 on Facebook Marketplace. I see them on there all the time. 4K, 12 megapixel camera. The HD 720p is the video feed to your controller. 98 degree field of view, and this camera spins around 360 degrees. Nacho said the fusion workflow killed him. I won't get the max unless it's better. ST16 controller. Here's a controller that's very similar to the one that I showed you guys tonight. Digital video downlink, 720p, which isn't amazing, but it was pretty good back then. Wizard. I flew with my Wizard once, and it was pretty sweet. It's kind of like the beacon on the new Skydio drone. It's got a GPS location in it, so you can keep the remote controller on you, and the Wizard acts like a beacon, and you can keep it on you and fly around with it or drive around with it, and the drone will just follow that GPS coordinate. But here's a picture of the guy pointing the remote in the sky of where he wants to go, and that's a lot like touch to fly on the Parrot Anafi. You basically just touch the map on the Parrot Anafi. Here you point at the sky, and then you give it like a radius that you want it to go, so it'll just kind of fly around you in a circle. But just like anything, guys, fly at your own risk. Don't point it at a building and expect it not to hit it. It's got orbit me mode, point of interest, journey mode, and curved cable cam. I've never really done a curved cable cam, so that might be one of my videos coming up, is learning how to do a curved cable cam. I think that'd be a lot of fun. It's got a follow me, watch me. All the drones kind of do the same thing, but this was 3 years ago when this drone came out, maybe 4 years ago. Dynamic return to home, blah blah blah. Retractable landing gear, foldable arms, professional package. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Typhoon H. That's the cheapest in the lineup and the least amount of functionality. Now we're going to talk about the H Plus, which is what I have here and I showed you tonight. The Yuneec Typhoon H Plus. Capture breathtaking imagery. So here's the difference. Let's go to the specs. Alright, so the H only had a 12 megapixel camera. Still 4K, but only 12 megapixels. This one's 4K, 100 megabits per second at 60 frames per second video capture. So Steve keeps his camera on auto, 4K at 60 frames per second. Sweet. Yeah, I very rarely take my cameras out of auto mode, just because I feel like you need to be in goggles if you're going to take it out of, if you're going to put it in manual mode, just because you're constantly pointing at different things. Like, it's a moving camera, and it's moving pretty far, pretty fast. So your lighting conditions, your the colors, all that stuff can change in the matter of seconds if you're flying pretty fast or pretty far. So I tend to keep my drones in auto. That's when I get my best footage. Sometimes it doesn't turn out, like that one Sunday where I was flying away from the sun, and then all of a sudden I was flying toward the sun, and everything just changed. But so on the H Plus, we have 4K, 100 megapixel, 60 frames per second, 20 megapixel. Intel is what I've got. Built-in 7-inch touchscreen. We talked about that. 5 rotor fail safe mode. So the H didn't say that it had that. So that might have been introduced with the H Plus. I don't have time in this live stream to read the fine print, but the 5 rotor fail safe mode is right here. And it might have been something they added to the firmware later, but didn't put it in the marketing mumbo jumbo. Nacho, have a good night, buddy. I hope you enjoy your work. Up to 30-minute flight time, so that's pretty awesome. The 1-inch sensor, this is kind of talking about the camera. The camera really is an amazing camera. It's just the footage out of it and the pictures are beautiful. The video I did when I got it, my first flight with it, I took it up and did a 360 pano with it, and then we put it into Final Cut Pro in 4K and was able to zoom in all over the place because I took a pano with a 20 megapixel camera, and it was like 45 images of 20 megapixel goodness. I mean, just gorgeous, guys. Gorgeous camera. User gallery, the power of 6. So this is a paragraph talking about how it's got 6 props, why 6 props are better than 4 props, that kind of thing. The drone that knows its way around. So it's got an Intel processor in it. This only has 2 cameras in the front of the drone. And everybody was like, well, why are the cameras just on the front of the drone? Why isn't it like a DJI drone that has cameras all around the drone to object avoid? Well, the difference is the DJI cameras, or the DJI drones, just have a camera. Let me put this in. Nope. I'm going to go here. That way I can talk to you. So on here, so if you think, let's just treat this like a DJI drone. Most drones nowadays just have a camera pointing forward. Okay? And D Barker, what's up? Just as a demonstration, actually, I'll pull the parrot out. Let's talk about the parrot. Well, my parrot's way over there. Alright, forget about the parrot. So if you think about your drone, most drones nowadays have a camera pointing forward, right? And so if you want to point this camera somewhere else, you have to turn the entire drone to point that camera somewhere, okay? You have to turn it over here and point the camera. So there's a reason why a lot of those drones, even the Skydio, has cameras all around the drone to check for object avoidance, because you have to, if you're backing the camera up, you're not even looking back there. So you need cameras here and there, all around. Okay, that's what you need to have if your drone can only look forward with the camera. So because you're always pointing the drone in different directions. Okay. This drone and the Yuneec Typhoon H, they don't need to point in any specific direction, okay? And the reason they don't is because the landing gear can come up and this camera can go in any direction, okay? So this drone only needs object avoidance, as far as the follow me goes, in the front. Because I can fly this drone in this I can fly this drone in this direction, but I can point the camera in that direction. Okay? So all the drone ever needs to do is point in the direction it's flying. So when in the follow me mode and in the autonomous modes, it will just fly forward. Okay? So it only needs object avoidance in front of it because it's only going in that direction. Your camera, on the other hand, like let's say you're going down a ski hill like this. Your camera can point at you while you're going down the ski hill, but your drone can fly forward. Okay? So that's why that's that. D. Barker said, "Hey brother, love the enthusiasm. Keep it up. Big fan." I appreciate that, man. Or woman. Steve said he doesn't use the object avoidance, but if you need it, you got it. So that's basically what's going on there. Another awesome controller that I love, that everybody else hates. Intelligent flight modes, it's got Orbit Me, Point of Interest, Journey, Curved Cable Cam, Follow Me, Watch Me. So it does the same thing. Okay? So here's a good comparison of the difference between the H Plus and the H. Okay? I got a lot of flack from the video that I did because I showed everybody what the difference was. I showed them how this was a bigger drone than had a wider wingspan, but it was lighter, so it could fly faster. You know, all the awesomeness about this drone, the 1-inch sensor camera, and I still got people saying on there, "It's the same drone, buddy." Well, here's what's different. So the Yuneec Typhoon H Plus is a 520 millimeter. So there's an orange version of this drone that's commercial grade. So it's a construction drone that's used for inspections and for mapping and stuff like that. So what they did, and that orange drone was the commercial version whenever the Yuneec Typhoon H was out. Then they rebranded the 520 into the Yuneec Typhoon H Plus. The Yuneec Typhoon H Plus is exactly the same as the Yuneec H520. The only difference is the firmware is more for consumers than it is like this drone doesn't come with mapping software. This drone has a beautiful user interface, whereas the 520 is more utilitarian, more work-based UI. Okay, so this is a 520, and the H was a 420. So that's basically from tip to tip. Okay. Max video resolution 4K 60 frames per second. On the H was only 4K 30 frames per second. So this has a processor that can handle 60 frames per second as opposed to 30 frames per second. Total megapixel 20 megapixels, whereas the other one's only 12.4. But still, I've taken some amazing pictures on my Canon XTI camera that was only a 10 megapixel camera. So 12 megapixel camera is still a darn good picture, but holy crap, 20 megapixel goodness. D. Barker. On the sensor size, so the H has a half-inch sensor, which is interesting. I thought it was a 1/2.3, which they might have rounded, but it only had a half-inch sensor, whereas this has a 1-inch sensor. So this has twice as much sensor capacity. Basically, it can bring in twice as much light as the last one. So you're going to reduce a lot of noise. You're going to get higher depth. Wait, no. You're going to get a higher dynamic range. You're going to get all that with a bigger sensor. And since this video's at I don't see it on here, but it's either 100 or 150 megabits per second. You have a lot better quality video. Sorry, I just got distracted by my antivirus software. That was random. And here's the weight though, guys. So even though this drone has a bigger wingspan or prop span, I don't know what you call that, probably prop span, but it's lighter. So if you look at it, it's sleeker. It's not as thick. Like they just kind of, there's a lot less heft to it. These are carbon fiber. I think the last drone was carbon fiber too, though. But they've done a lot to make this drone sleek. Wind resistance. So I can fly this in 35 miles per hour winds, whereas the H I could only fly in 20 miles per hour winds. But flying the H for a couple years, that thing could handle any gust of wind in Nashville. Like, you'd have like wind coming off the mountain into the valley, and the H could handle it like a champ. So H Plus just does even better than that. And they both have Intel RealSense technology, which is the same technology that's in the Skydio. This just has it in the front, whereas the Skydio has that technology all over it. So yeah, so let's get back to the specs. We're going to go back to this thing, and now we're going to go through the H. We're going to look at the H, okay? So the Typhoon H3 co-engineered with Leica. Now Leica is very important in this scenario because Leica has made cameras for years. Yeah, Brent Newman, yeah, if you lose a prop, you can still land. So fortunately, I've never lost a prop in the air, but I'm super paranoid about props popping off. I made some stupid mistakes when I was just starting out flying drones. My biggest stupid mistake was before anybody added pano modes to their apps. I was doing panos by myself because I already knew how to do that from when I've done that for 20 years. So I was doing that, and I needed 3 more shots, and so I was like, it was telling me to return to home. I only had 20% battery life. Then I was down to 10% battery life, and then it was like, you have to land now. And that was my DJI Phantom 3 standard is what it was. And I pulled it down really, really fast and pulled it right down into a tree. So anyway, so that was a stupid mistake. But ever since then, I've kind of watched best practice videos about how to handle your drones. And this drone, you have to put the props on every time, so it's kind of an easy way to check whether the prop is properly seated or not. But back then, my DJI Phantom 3, you had to screw the props on, so it was very easy for them to unscrew. Whereas these snap on, the Mavic Pro snaps on, all those things. So, but yeah, if the prop flies off, you're good to go. So D. Baker wanted the H Plus for a long time now. So Typhoon H3 co-engineered with Leica. Looking at this picture, it's exactly the same drone as I have. Pretty sure it's the 520 with just a different camera on it. But it might not be. So this one has 6 rotor safety and stability, which the other one only had 5 rotor safety and stability. So I'm not sure what the difference is if they just renamed it something, because it still only has 6 props. So if you lose a prop, you're down to 5. So there's that. Easy to fly, everything included. Advanced photo video functionality. So the difference here is the camera, guys. So they've put extra things into their camera. Data privacy, professional grade image quality, 2 operator mode, which the other ones have, professional ST 16S remote control, which is this guy, the guy that the controller that I showed you that comes with the H plus. Camera co-engineered with Leica. So that's the biggest differentiating factor, is that this beautiful, beautiful camera. I feel like that's a full SD card slot. It can't be, though. It can't be, because it would go through the lens. So yeah, maybe I'm confused. Co-engineered with Leica, new standards aerial photography. User-defined image mode and focus settings, lossless digital zoom. So that's a difference. This does not have digital zoom. This one has a lossless digital zoom. So this talks about the cruise control feature that I was telling you about that all the other H's have. Cruise control feature keeps the speed of the drone consistent so you can fully concentrate on the camera shot. With the integrated 3-axis gimbal, drone's retractable landing gear, the camera can rotate through 360 degrees unrestricted and produce flowing panoramic shots. Thanks to the short JPEG intervals, hyperlapse videos can also be created without problems. So that's awesome, guys. Outstanding image quality. And look, it's in a spherical lens. That's the first time I noticed that. So that's pretty cool. So here's those specs. Camera co-engineered with Leica. 1-inch, 20 megapixel, 4K 60 frames per second, which is exactly the same. Which is exactly the same as the other one. It's got Y-Log. This has Y-Log, DNG. I'm not sure if it has wide dynamic range, but I think it does. Auto exposure bracketing, JPEG, based hyperlapse, lossless digital zoom. So the other one didn't talk about digital zoom on this at all, so I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen digital zoom on the H Plus, so that's definitely a plus. Brent Newman, cool. Lossless digital zoom like the Mavic 2 zoom, but with a 1-inch sensor instead of the zooms. Yes. Yeah, so this camera is a combination of the zoom and the Pro for the Mavic 2. I was always frustrated with the release of the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom, because the camera on the Mavic 2 Zoom was the same camera as the DJI Mavic Pro, the original one. They didn't make the camera any better, they just added a zoom lens to it. Now the drone flies better, and it's got more sensors on it and all that kind of stuff. But I was really frustrated when the Pro couldn't zoom, and the drone that could zoom didn't have as good a camera. So I was frustrated that they were two separate drones. Why couldn't they do like this and have a removable camera, and you could buy, like, I think they could have made all kinds of money selling a 2-camera set. But and here is like this beautiful video. Thanks to the short JPEG intervals, hyperlapse video can also be created without problem. So check this video out, guys. It's beautiful. Newman, this would be beautiful where you're at. Imagine doing like a hyperlapse. Of course, you probably do this with your Inspire, but you know, over those fields with the factories in the middle of them and stuff. Potent hexacopter system. There's the controller that I have. These are the different flight. These are basically just filters. This is kind of cheesy that they highlight this as one of their features. yeah, I'm not going to get into that. Every drone does that. But that's it, guys. It's a beautiful drone. I think it's beautiful. Intelligent flight modes, follow me, watch me, curve cable cam, orbit me, journey, the good stuff. Data security. So the safety features in it has numerous safety features such as redundant control signal, a return to home function, numerous fail-safe functions, an adjustable virtual fence that ensures that your drone does not fly away. That's good. The 5-rotor mode, super cool, guys. And then check this panorama photo out. The way you can get that is because the camera can spin 360 degrees around, and that's another thing. When I take a panorama with my Spark and put it up in the air, it like the whole drone like goes like the whole drone has to move to point it in those directions. This drone just sits there, and then the camera just moves around all over. Like the drone just sits there. So if you imagine hovering takes a lot less energy than turning the entire drone. So it's an efficient system. I really like it. Sturdy hexacopter, retractable landing gear, PX4 based flight controller, cruise control for controlled shots, intelligent auto flight modes, return to home, and auto landing functions, obstacle detection, 5-rotor mode. It's funny, they called it 5-rotor mode here, and they call it 6-rotor mode in another one. And then redundant control signal, geofence settings, and team mode lets you one person fly the copter, whereas the other person can control the camera. But I'll just say that when I did that with Ken Heron, like, I got dizzy. And the reason I got dizzy is because I wasn't the one controlling the movement. All I was doing was controlling the camera. So, man. But, I don't know. Like, he would turn the drone, and I didn't know he was turning it. And I guess that maybe it comes down to communication. And, like, it was kind of hit right when he got his Inspire 2. So he didn't know what he was doing. He was, learning. And I'd never done anything like that before. So yeah. That's it, guys. Nope. Where'd I go? Alright, guys. So I hope you guys like this live stream. It's pretty slow starting out, but yeah, I'm the kind of person that I don't have any connections to anybody. If Yuneec came out with a crappy drone, which they have, and I've purchased crappy drones from Yuneec. The Breeze was a piece of junk. And I can't believe they came out with the Yuneec Breeze at like a $400 or $500 price point. I got it for like $150, and I thought it, and at the time I didn't even think it was worth $150. But it was like a piece of plastic with a motherboard that kind of bounced around inside of it. It's just not a very good put together drone. But these drones, the H series, are professional grade in my opinion. They're more like I guess they're considered prosumer, but this drone is used in commercial. Like this drone painted orange is the one they sell to construction companies. It's meant to fly around power lines. It's meant to fly around heavy equipment. It's meant to notice things. I watched a Demon Seed video, and I think he was flying the original Typhoon H with Intel RealSense, and he was trying to crash it into a bulldozer, and he couldn't. So That's awesome. And then even like this, I don't even know if this, that'd be awesome if it had some juice, but it doesn't. Oh, wait. It does. What? Check it out, guys. What? This was back before everybody started making gimbals. It's got a weird little... I even forget how to do this. Oh yeah, you put your phone in a clip like that. But allows you to move things around. It's got a little thing. It doesn't have a trigger on it or anything, but this, when they came out with this, I thought it was ingenious because you could fly, like real estate, you could fly your drone around the house or around the building, whatever you're doing, and then you can take the cameras come off. And I don't want to mess with this one because I don't want to break it, but I'm okay with this one. All the H series have this little system that like slides on, and then it has these pins that feed it power and connect it and all that kind of stuff. Snaps on like that, and then it's good to go. Okay, guys. But what's amazing is someone can take this drone in real estate, fly it around the house, take the camera off, put it on this little gimbal, and then do a walkthrough on the inside of the house, and you've got the entire, you've got the house from outside to inside using the same camera and all that kind of stuff. So Steve said, well, what else do you need? The Plus has it all. I don't know what else you need. I need a 360-degree drone. Is what I need. I can put my 360 camera on here, but yeah, I don't think you need much more. I would love for them to come out with better cameras. I would love to be able to just buy this Leica camera and put it on this drone, because I don't feel like they've changed anything about this drone in particular. I would love to just be able to buy the H3, and I'll show you guys. Move over here. Switch over to this. Go here, here. All right. So this is the H520 commercial aerial solution. Okay. And if you look at it, it is the exact same drone as the H Plus with the H camera on it. So, and that just because this drone came out the same time that the H did, that's why that old camera is on there. Look, even cowboys can fly it. Check that out. But this was why they brought this drone out, and why all their drones do this. Hot swap payload options. I put a couple different cameras on my Yuneec Typhoon H, because I can. The E90 is a lot like the one that I have right now. On my Yuneec Typhoon H Plus, it's branded as the C23, but this E90 is, it looks like the same camera. It's 20 megapixel, 1-inch sensor. Yeah, and I think the only difference is here is the firmware on this camera is made for mapping. Then the CGO ET is a thermal version of the CGO 3, which is Oh wait, that's the one I've got, which is that one right there. So the CGO, why does that keep doing that? CGO ET is a it's a thermal version, and then the E50 is a medium focus camera, high resolution gimbal stabilization. So, but it's only 12 megapixel. Also comes with that. The 520 comes with Data Pilot, which is the difference between the H Plus and the 520. 520 has a lot of software built into it for commercial. The reason that drone is so expensive is because of the software that comes with it. This can handle 3D scans of like people's farmland, stuff like that, surveying. And it has Yuneec SDK, so people can actually build applications for what they're doing with the H520. But if you go in here in commercial, you've got these payloads, and you can go in and buy this specific camera for these drones. E90 is pretty much what I have. ET is the thermal. Check this one out. This goes on a different drone, but Yuneec 4K. Check this out. Panasonic, in cooperation with Panasonic, to combine the best of Panasonic's camera quality with the award-winning engineering, 3 times optical zoom. It's a Panasonic camera. It's a full-on camera made by Panasonic with a zoom lens on a gimbal. And I think you can put micro four thirds. I don't remember what this lens is, but actually it might not be. It's pretty small. But check this out, guys. So like the pistol grip that I just showed you, they have a huge gimbal for this one. I just think that's brilliant the way they do that. This is the Breeze 4K. This is the drone that I thought was pretty cheap and lame. Mantis Q came out, and I think they fixed a lot of the problems with the Breeze. I think it was a rebranded Breeze with a little bit more solid. And then the Mantis G. This is actually a pretty impressive drone. I want to get my hands on one, but I need to chill until after the holidays, pretty much. Unless I sell something. I might sell something. But the Yuneec Mantis Q, this is the G. This has so it's got different auto flight modes, voice control. It's kind of like I just think that's trendy. I really don't want to voice control my drone. 4K resolution, gimbal stabilization. Excuse me. But I want to see cinema modes, visual tracking, waypoints. It's got waypoints, so that's pretty awesome. Return to home, point of interest, journey mode. But the flight time on this is awesome, and I'm trying to find that. "33-minute flight time." That's ridiculous, guys. That's great. So I can tell I'm getting pretty tired. I just yawned a couple times. So hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I know I had a good time. I love talking about drones. I love talking about Yuneec drones, Parrot drones. I haven't gotten my hands on any Autel drones, so I might play around with an Autel drone, just so I can get my mind around what's going on. I pre-ordered the Skydio, so that should be coming. But yeah, I really enjoyed this stream tonight. Hope you guys liked it. If you would like to put a comment on my channel, Send me a private message on what you would like to see in future live streams, what topics you would like me to talk about. That would be awesome. We're trying to build a droning community, so if everybody in here could go subscribe to everybody else's channel, we could really, grow this community and support each other. And yeah, hope to catch you on the next video, guys. Coming up, I will be doing videos about the Switch Pod. I just got that in the mail this week, and I got the GoPro Hero 8 in the mail. So those are two things that I'm super excited to play around with and talk to you guys about in the videos coming up. But hope you guys have a wonderful night. Catch you on the next video. Planning on flying maybe tomorrow. I think I might take my lunch break and go out and fly tomorrow. Might put the GoPro on a drone. But anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Peace out.